Coming up in the next hour, 79 member states of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States pledge to combat blue economy barriers.
Illegal mining affecting operations of Ghana Water Company Limited in Central Region.
Police arrest man with 6 foreign pistols in the northern region.
And polls close in Gambia's National Assembly elections. We'll say a very good evening to you and welcome to News Hour right here on GBC News and GTV. My name is Jonathan Thompson.
And I'm Samuela Quarti, also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
Now let's jump to our first story. 79 member states of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States, OACPS, have adopted a strategic plan towards combating the barriers that confront the blue economy and hinders sustainable fisheries and food systems. Fisheries resources include food, fish, fuel, renewable energy, minerals, sand, and gravel, and tourism.
Blue economy, according to the World Bank, is a sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs, while preserving the health of ocean ecosystem. Member states adopted a strategy of the 7th OACPS 4-day meeting by ministers in charge of fisheries and aquaculture and senior officials from varied African countries in Accra. Areas laid down for discussion were policy actions on preservation of maritime zone, impacts of climate change on marine and inland waters, such as acidification, rise of ocean and temperature, sea level rise, migration of species, and financing from development partners. Other areas addressed were combating illegal and unregulated fishing activities, connection between IUU and organized crime and biodiversity, and ways to sustain the marine life value chain to yield nutritional and financial benefits for growth of member states. At the OACPS meeting, Tanzania and Niger expressed interest to host the 8th OACPS meeting of Ministers of Fisheries and Aquaculture to contribute to achieving the agenda of the meeting and enlighten ministers on how aquaculture was done along a desert nation.
The Ghana Water Company Limited in the Central Region says illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, continues to mitigate against its operations in the region, particularly at their intake points. Authorities said this makes the company struggles to extract water for treatment at some production plants due to the extremely muddy state of the water source.
The meetings were part of the PURC's stakeholders' engagement with utility providers and consumers in the region to assess their performance and improve areas of challenges. The Central Regional Chief Manager of GWCL, Kwesi Abrebrese, explained that the company is compelled by the situation to introduce more chemicals in the water to keep water flowing to its customers, adding to its production costs. According to him, production is always interrupted for maintenance works due to the filth in the water that clogged their machines, citing Setrehimang as the most affected. The acute water shortage in some parts of the central region and the brownish water that flows through taps in some communities have been an issue of major concern to many. Mr. Abrebrese called for concerted efforts by citizens and government to combat the canker to forestall a looming water crisis in the country. Addressing some challenges raised by GWCL, Executive Secretary of PURC, Dr. Ishmael Aka, advised the company to engage the public on galamsey to develop localized strategies to get quality water. For areas without water at all, he encouraged GWCL to expedite its provision and installation of reservoirs in such areas for them to get reliable water supply. To deal with overbilling and its attendant problems with consumers, Dr. Aka urged the water provider to provide meters for all customers to resolve the situation. On the operation of ECG, Dr. Aka observed that aside from illegal connections, burnt poles due to agricultural activities is a key problem, sending the investment of ECG in the region down the drain. He asked citizens to desist from the act, adding that it is their collective responsibility to protect the poles and the meters.
Moving on, unconstitutional military takeovers are making a comeback in Africa. These coups are threatening to overturn the democratic gains African countries have made in recent decades. At the opening of a two-day sensitization workshop on ECOWAS protocols at Kofodia in the Eastern region, the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Mr. Kweku Amprechum Sapong, said these continue to pose challenges to peace and stability despite efforts of international and regional organizations.
African states, ECOWAS, aims to promote cooperation and integration as well as establish an economic union in West Africa and to enhance economic stability, foster relations among member states and contribute to the progress and development of the African continent. In 2019, the Africa Regional Integrated Index report, which measures regional integration on the continent along 5 dimensions, scored ECOWAS member states as best performing in the dimension of free movement of people, but with the lowest on trade integration. To ensure that Ghanaian people are well informed and take advantage of the protocols that are available to them by virtue of Ghana's membership of the regional body of ECOWAS, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integrations has been organizing a series of regional sensitization workshops across the country, which seeks to improve in-depth knowledge and understanding of the various ECOWAS protocols. This is to enable key state and non-state actors to effectively contribute to and benefit from the regional integration process. The Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Mr. Kweku Amprechum Sapong, noted that the sensitization forum will help participants gain a better understanding of the political atmosphere in the region.
As we forge ahead, we focus on ECOWAS Vision 2050. We hope to achieve, among others, a fully integrated and a prosperous region, which would only be made manifest when the ECOWAS citizenry understand it, own it, commit and contribute to it, but also make a conscious effort to live it.
The Eastern Regional Minister, Mr. Seth Kwame Achampong, said it is vital to partner African states to generate productive and viable medium and long-term benefits.
ECOWAS, under the current chairmanship of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is working hard to resolve the hydra-headed problem of unconstitutional change of government that has affected some of our neighbors.
To participants, both African leaders and its external partners would have to play a crucial role.
Since Ghana is the second contributor, I need to know more about ECOWAS, and I've realized that I thought I knew certain things about ECOWAS, but there are a lot to learn.
Anybody who comes with a coup, a military coup, should be what? Stopped with immediate effect.
Most of our people are not able to get employed into our foreign affairs and things that pertain to ECOWAS because our children are not learning the languages, the French language. They are not serious with it. So I will encourage our young ones in school to take their French and other languages serious so that in future when they have to be employed, they can fit into any society.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Madam Shelley Ayoko-Botchwey, says social media has the effect of manipulating information and sharpening social divisions. According to her, this has been complicating the traditional conduct of foreign policies. The Foreign Affairs Minister was speaking at the Gimpa School of Law's third public lecture, which was part of the school's 62nd Law Week celebrations. It was on the theme, Diplomacy and Public Service.
The impact of social media We all know what has happened in the 3 countries that have experienced coup d'etats in West Africa: Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali. And the power of social media, of the people who have the coup makers, basically, to hold the people, and for the people to support them, to use them in a way that the people see it as a must, that they must support them and that they are righting a wrong. As members of ECOWAS, we must only use the ballot box to change governments and not use the gun to change governments forcibly. But social media is so powerful that it is easy to mobilize and to get people behind these coup makers.
Moving on, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Madam Shirley Ayokoboje, has reiterated the need for Ghanaians living overseas to register with Ghana's foreign missions in those countries. This, she says, will help inform the country on steps to take in emergency situations such as the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, which necessitated the repatriation of Ghanaians from Ukraine.
You, I am sure, are aware of the ordeal that many of our compatriots go through, especially the young girls who go to the Gulf states in search of greener pastures. They go there only to find that there's nothing like greener pastures. What they have been promised is not what they are given or what they experience. And they are subjected to a lot of inhumane treatment because they become house helps, maids in households that they didn't envisage to becoming. Many are promised to be teachers and all of that, and then all of a sudden they find themselves as housemaids. And they are maltreated, mistreated, and raped, and all kinds of things happen, and we have to bring them back home. So some of the the missions have to deal with these situations. And although we have said that when you get to any country outside Ghana and there is a mission there, which is an embassy, please register. It's extremely important because in the event that there is a serious situation, we can account for you and bring you back. Typical example is Ukraine. Many of the students did not register when they got to Ukraine. But then when this war happened, we had to find a way. Thankfully, the nukes was very active, and therefore they helped us to bring back our students. Those, at least those who wanted to come back.
Now go to the northern region, where the Northern Regional Police Command has arrested a suspect, Mohammed Idi Elias Wata, for unlawful possession of firearms. The suspect was arrested at the Pigu Police Barrier on the Tamale-Bolgatanga Highway during routine police intelligence operations. The operation led to the retrieval of 6 new foreign-made 9mm caliber Bruni 92 pistols. On Friday, 8th April 2020, the suspect, Mohammed Idi, was arraigned before High Court 1 in Tamale and has been remanded into police custody to reappear on 25th April 2022. The police says it remains committed to ensuring a safe and secure environment for all.
A consultation meeting on how to harmonize policies and programs on youth development in Ghana has been held in Accra. It involved youth agencies and youth groups and the Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Oforiatta.
Statistics show that youth unemployment rate in Ghana stands at 19.7%. Out of the country's entire youth population, 4,644,268 are employed, while 1,140,009 remain unemployed. 5,960,181 are outside the labor force. To shed more light on the modules, implementation plan, exit strategy, monitoring and evaluation, and the entire structure for the youth program in the country, the National Youth Authority held a one-day consultative engagement with various stakeholders, including youth groups. Speaking at the meeting, the Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, had a word of advice for the youth.
Let's be bold. Let's be excited about the future. Let's be excited about this land that we have been placed in. Let's know that it's for a purpose. Be very determined as to where we want to go, and know that truly this hackneyed phrase about the future is for the youth. It is indeed for you, and your responsibility to create a bigger, better environment, irrespective of whether the system is supporting or not. You got to push, and you'll be amazed at how the light gradually comes in, the door opens, you become more fearless, but ground yourself.
In an interview with GBC News, the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, Mr. Pius Enam Hajide, spoke further on the objectives of the consultation.
It is the National Youth Authority's responsibility to, together with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, fashion out the National Youth Policy, which shall inform the operations of the various agencies that work towards youth development. This is the beginning of a long-term arrangement to coordinate and harmonize operations in the youth development ecosystem.
The National Youth Program is anchored on the NYA Act, Act 939/2016.
The Ghana Broadcasting Corporation Television Training School has graduated another batch of students who underwent 6 months of training in film and television production techniques.
32 students took the course in graphics, camera, video editing, television production, film and television entrepreneurship, sound and lighting, amongst others. The 6 months training involved classroom work and practical field exposure. This was the 14th batch of students the school has churned out. Some members of the graduating class told GBC News the course has really made them employable.
GBC's training school, trust me, it has pushed me to another level in terms of directing and learning how to handle cameras and other stuff.
It hasn't been easy. For me, this is a dream come true.
Now I can just do my own program, design my own program, and then come and air it myself.
It has been of so much help to me, so I recommend GBC Training School for you.
Because of GBC Training School, I'll be able to acquire camera, graphics, and then all of my video editing.
The chairman of the Film Classification Committee Ghana, Mr. Socrates Safo, told the graduates that, in addition to the professional training, they need to be strategic, creative, disciplined and hardworking to fare well in the film and television industry.
If somebody tells you that the industry, and it depends on how you do it, this is where you should be thinking. How are you going to do it? The first thing you need to survive in this industry is discipline. The second is a classmate. Get ideas. What are you going to do? Today we have the internet. You go on social media, you can create contents there and be making money. You can easily make it in this industry if only you understand. You can make it easily.
Some of the graduates received special awards for outstanding performance in film, sound, production and directing.
A staple of the people of the southeast coast of Ghana, this food became popular among Ghanaians during the grim famine in 1983 in Ghana. Kong, or Komi, Otim, Dokno, Kenkey, as it is often called, is a fairly heavy meal made with corn or maize. Wabati Kong, or to wit, we will sample the taste of Kenkey in today's edition of Chopology, which is arguably a savior to many, as it is very filling and when washed down with lots of water, assures one of a full tank to function for much of the day.
The first phase of the Kenkey production begins with the grinding of the corn or maize into a flour-like texture at the mill before it is semi-cooked on fire by stirring continuously into what is known as a flatter or partly cooked dough. The flatter is later kneaded to get rid of any lumps. Additionally, part of the raw dough is mixed with the flatter to get a fine texture. While at that, others carefully select the corn husk, which has previously been soaked briefly in water to make it pliable. The flatter is molded into sizable preferred balls according to its price. It is then encased or wrapped in the corn husk. After that, it is put to the boil. The kenkey is cooked within 4 hours.
Depending on the maize, sometimes some of the maize, they are hard, and so it will take some time. Sometimes too, it doesn't take time. 3 hours is ready.
The kenkey pairs well with freshly ground pepper, fried fish and shito. However, there are additions like gravy, okra stew with gizzard, sausage, egg, shrimp, turkey tail, popularly known as chofi, all to suit the customer's palate for satisfaction and retention.
The Jasikan College of Education says poor infrastructure is affecting smooth academic work. It said poor structures and lack of furniture, coupled with lack of teaching and learning materials, are impeding effective teaching and learning and are appealing to the government to address the situation.
Jasikan College of Education, one of the 40 public colleges of education in Ghana, is a teacher education college in Jasikan Buem in the Jasikan district in the Oti region. The college have been bedeviled with challenges caused by inadequate furniture at the various classrooms, dining halls that needs to be upgraded, lack of science laboratory and lack of teaching and learning materials. An auditorium project we started since 2010 has stalled. When completed, the auditorium will have a sitting capacity of 2,500, 18 offices for staff, store and shops. The college also needs a fence wall to deal with threat of encroachers on lands belonging to them. Authorities said the challenges were thought the effort teachers were making to contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly Goal 4, which emphasizes access to quality and equal education. The Jasikan Hinin Nana Ejitetek Pasebrantu is appealing to government and stakeholders to come to the aid of the school with all the urgency it deserves.
College of Education. Omaye bebre. Nanso yesa hia bebre enti nania esa medibeka ho any bebia almost regional education office no.
The principal of the Jasikan College of Education, Dr. Daniel Kwesi Hammond, says if all the projects started are completed on time, it will go a long way to help the college.
We have a very huge auditorium lying there uncompleted. I think the completion would solve a lot of problems of the college because we have lecture halls there. We have almost everything that we need to promote academic work.
The Deputy Education Minister, Reverend Jonington Fojo, assured the chiefs and others that government will continue to invest in education and provide quality education.
Jasikan College of Education, Yana Duduana Ekase, it is the top among the best. Nansanya aban selected colleges of education. Ye see above hostel the amount of Jasikan College of Education.
The Jasikan College of Education is expected to start its e-library project soon.
The Abutiano VCDA Primary School in the Ho West District of the Volta region has been renovated by the Rotary Club of Ho. Due to the dilapidated nature of the classroom block, authorities of the school used to end lessons anytime rain clouds formed in the sky.
The Novisi DA Primary School at Abutia in the Ho West District of the Volta region has infrastructure and logistical challenges. The school's classroom block was in a poor state of disrepair. The school also lacks computers and library books to enhance academic performance. The Rotary Club of Ho initially wanted to present some educational materials to the school, but upon realizing that the classroom block was in more serious need of repair, they turned attention to the classroom block. They carried out the project at the cost of 100,000 Ghana cedis. The headmaster of the school, Mr. Selom Dogbe, was full of praise, saying, until the repairs, the building was a threat to the lives of both teachers and the pupils. He also appealed for support in the form of computers to facilitate practical study of ICT. The president of the Rotary Club of Ho, Mr. Eric Borte, said the gesture formed part of the club's mandate to contribute to quality basic education, especially in deprived communities.
A single mother of three, Ms. Dorcas Afre, is appealing to the public to help her raise $7,200 for her daughter to undergo surgery. 6-year-old Kisiwa Ejipon was born with spina bifida occulta, which led to delayed walking. Kisiwa has no sacrum and coccyx, that is the absence of a posterior pelvis. Without the corrective surgery, Kisiwa will be crippled for life.
Kisiwa Ejapon was born with spina bifida, a congenital condition the fetus develops when the expectant mother fails to take folic acids within the first trimester of pregnancy. According to Ms. Dorcas Afre, she carried her pregnancy for almost 2 years before she was delivered of her daughter.
She has been on POP for the first 2 days after she was born. We have been to Duankwanta Orthopedic Center. We have been to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and finally, they discovered that she had the spina bifida. She doesn't have sacrum, and her hip joint too, some of the things didn't form properly.
Kisiwa is incontinent, meaning she has no sensation to pee nor poop. Hence, she still wears diapers. Although she is intelligent, no school is willing to take her on.
They don't want to promote her in class. She's very intelligent, but because of her condition, wearing diaper, they don't want to promote her. Even one of the schools, I don't want to mention name, they asked me to send her to special school. And another school too told me that they don't admit disabled in their school.
Kisiwa urgently needs $7,200 for a hip open reduction and internal fixation, as well as osteotomy, otherwise will be crippled for life. The procedure is expected to be done in India.
We are pleading to the government, NGOs, individuals who can help us to do a cochlear surgery for her so that she can be okay as everyone.
Donors who wish to support Kisiwa can do so through the Koforidua branch of the Consolidated Bank of Ghana, accounts name Dorcas Afre, account number 040-0095-600-001, or through MTN mobile money number 0243-726-902, account name Laurentia Afre. No amount will be considered small.
and we are urging all and sundry to actually contribute to get little Kisiwa the corrective surgery. Moving on, 16-year-old Godway Azigi is reported missing. Godson Azigi was last seen last week on Wednesday, March 30, 2022. According to his father, Mr. Kwame Azigi, one Dennis Ansah, who claims to be a police officer, threatened to arrest his son, Godway Azigi, which led him to flee the house. All efforts to locate him have proved futile. Godway is a JHS 2 pupil of God's Grace School at Nsawam. Anyone with information about Godway should contact Mr. Kwame Azigi of Insumia near Nsawam on the telephone number 0242 928 990. I repeat the numbers 0242 928 990, or report to the nearest police station.
The former Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Hajia Ramatu Aliyu Mahama, has been laid to rest in accordance with Islamic tradition. She was buried beside her late husband, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama, at their residence at Kalifuni in Tamale. Family members, sympathizers, and well-wishers who eulogized her described the late Hajia Ramatu Mahama as a mother to all and a great source of inspiration. Earlier, the remains of Hajia Ramatu Aliyu Mahama were laid in state on Saturday, 9th April 2022 at the Black Star Square. Hajia Ramatu Aliyu Mahama was the wife of former late Vice President Aliyu Mahama. The ceremony was attended by the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Baumia, the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Nur Sharabutu, former President John Ajekum Kufuor, together with the First and Second Lady and other dignitaries. The Form 1 Federation of Muslim Women Association, members of the Armed Forces, FPU Ghana Police Service, brothers of the late Hajia Ramatu Aliyu Mahama, and the brothers of her late husband also paid their last respect to the late former Second Lady of Ghana. A 10-minute silence was observed whilst a rendition of the portion of the Quran was recited. A prayer was said for the late Hajia Ramatu Aliyu Mahama by a representative of the Chief Imam, Alhaji Dal Alfan, and his team, after which the Salat Janaza prayer led by the Chief Imam was said for the late Second Lady, after ablution was performed by the Muslims present at the ceremony. Still News are live on GBC News and on GTV. Also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Ghana Broadcast. We'll be back shortly. Please stay. You're welcome back. Now let's do business. Trading during the month of March compared to February has been described as relatively favorable for investors. This comes despite the year-to-date change still being in the negatives. The head of research for CDH Securities, Mr. James Affo, made this assertion on GBC News program Market Avenue.
The year-to-date return declined from negative 3.3 to negative 1.67. So I would see, the month of March was better than that of February. Ghana, in particular, is in a very difficult situation. Most of the economic indicators are favorable. Inflation is hovering around 16%. Interest rate on fixed income instruments keep increasing. And so investors' confidence is a bit low, and it is reflecting in what we are witnessing. Whenever interest rate increases, people shift their attention to investment that offers guaranteed return, and it tends to affect the performance of the market. So what we are witnessing is a rapid increase in interest rates in most of the fixed income instruments that we have.
We're still on Market Avenue. An economist, Mr. Paul Apiakunedu, said as much as external factors has had a dire effect on Ghana's economy, some solutions highlighted by Dr. Mahamudu Baumia were debatable.
Talking about the increase in the debt levels, talking about the constant depreciation of the cedi, talking about inflation, oil price, and all the other challenges that we have. I think he did a very good job trying to justify why we have experienced the percent price increases across markets in Ghana. Now, aside telling us why we are facing the challenges, I think when it comes to the solutions or what government is doing to be able to address the challenges, that is where some of the solutions that he gave probably are not convincing enough. Talking about the high and rising debt levels, I mean, we cannot blame everything on COVID-19, on the energy sector, excess capacity charges, and also on the banking sector cleanup.
And that was business. We'll be back shortly. Please stay.